Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I am Kelsey. As you can tell by the title, I'll be doing a very fresh, clean but beat makeup look that I've been really loving lately, and I believe would look perfect for the springtime. I know in some states it's already like in the 80s, but for me, I always like to be moisturized, hydrated. At the same time, I want to be matte and make sure, I like using products that I know is going to last and it's not going to sweat off, but at the same time still be hydrating. So make sure you keep watching to see how I create this makeup look. So going straight into the makeup look, I'm going to start off with my base, which is so important. This is going to determine how your makeup is going to look throughout the day. So these days I'm really loving hydrating products, primers, serums, everything. Having dewy, glowy skin makes you look more youthful and fresh, but at the same time I noticed that when using hydrating products you are prone to get a lot of creasing, and I get a lot around my mouth area, but at the same time I still prefer using hydrating dewy foundations. So for primer, I'm going to use the Too Faced Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer. This stuff is really good. This is a super moisturizing primer, and I just find that it just works with all of my foundations. This primer is definitely perfect for dry skin. So next I'm going to apply the new Wet n Wild Primer Serum, and this is the hydrating one. It's a little watery, but I really love how soft and smooth my skin feels after using this. And this also smells like watermelon. Smells so good. Here I'm going to apply another primer. I know y'all like, girl, this is your third primer. Girl, you need this e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, but this is really essential if you have very large pores, and I feel like this is going to be perfect for like the spring transitioning to the summertime. I'm not going to really rub it in, but just patting it and pushing this product into my pores. And try not to apply too much, just blend it out and push it into the skin because you don't want to manipulate the other two primers. So I'm going to be using two foundations today, the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation, and then I have a sample of the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Foundation in the shade 330. I'm going to apply the shade 345 first. Since this foundation is slightly, just like a pinch dark, I'm going to apply it around the perimeter of my face. And I'm also warming this on the back of my hand. So I'm going to try to work fast with this foundation since it dries super fast. And I'm using this flat buffing brush to buff this foundation in. And I'm just using whatever that's left on this brush and just blending it out. I'm going to take 330 and apply this on the center of my face. To blend that out, I'm going to use my Real Technique sponge. For concealer, I'm going to use the Revolution Pro Ultimate Coverage Creaseproof Concealer in the shade C11.2. This concealer, y'all, is super full coverage. Like, I don't even have to use that much. I'm going to apply this much underneath my eyes and just watch how much it covers, girl. To apply this concealer, I love using my finger just because of the way it melts into my under eyes. I feel like with other concealers, to get that full coverage, you have to apply a whole lot, like 2-3 layers. But with this one, you just need a dab. As you can see, that concealer just brightened up my under eyes. So now to highlight my under eye area, I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in the shade Warm Beige. So as you can see, I just did my basic highlight routine, and I'm just going to blend it out with my Real Technique sponge. And what I've also been doing different lately is really taking my time out blending my concealer. It looks more effortless and blended out when you actually blend it out. And I applied a little bit of that concealer around my mouth area just because I have some darkness around that area. Now that's blended, I'm gonna use my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I'm like literally almost out of this. I'm trying to use as much of this as possible, girl. This was expensive. So before I go in with the powder, I'm going to blend my under eye area one more time because you do not want to set any creasing. So I'm not going to bake. I'm going to be blending all of this product underneath my eye area. And I'm not baking because that Poreless Putty Primer is going to mattify and blur the pores. So I don't want to add too much powder and make it dry, you know. So for the face powder, I'm going to use my Sephora Micro Smooth Setting Powder. This is the wrong shade. I'm going to use the shade Tan 35. I love using this powder. It's really lightweight and just gives a very flawless matte finish. I'm not going to apply too much because I did apply the soft matte foundation in this area, but for my base I applied a lot of hydrating products, so that's going to shine and come through throughout the day. To warm up my skin, I'm going to use my Tarte Amazonian Clay Bronzer in the shade Hotel Heiress. So before I would apply my bronzer in like a wiping motion like this, but I've noticed like you can clearly see a line where you applied it. And now I try to work from my hairline, just dabbing it lightly, and then move forward towards the cheeks. You want to make sure you apply your bronzer on your jawline and chin area. So I'm going to use a eyeshadow brush to bronze my nose. And when I bronze my nose, I try to keep it towards the middle as possible and not too like far out like right here, but try to bring it into the actual bridge of my nose. And then you want to make sure you blend that out lightly. So we're gonna stop on the face and go into the eye look. So I'm gonna use the Jackie Aina and Anastasia eyeshadow palette. I'm going in with the shade Ginger right here and apply this on my crease area. Ooh, girl, she's pigmented. And I'm just using the eyeshadow brush that came with the palette. To warm that color up a little bit more, I'm going to use the Morphe and Jacklyn Hill palette. And I'm going in with this shade Secure right here, which is a really warm burnt orange shade. And applying that right on top. So first I'm going to go ahead in with the Stila liquid eyeshadow in the shade Painted Lady. And I think this is just like a coral, I'm not sure if you can see it. It's coral with like a hint of pink and orange. And I'm going to apply that directly on my lid. And before I go ahead with the other eye, I'm going to go in with the shade Zam right here, which is kind of similar to that shade, and I'm just going to pack that onto my lid. And I'm just going to repeat the same steps on the other eye. So I'm just going to do a really quick wing, and I'm going to use my NYX Professional Matte Liquid Eyeliner. I'm going to do my eyebrows with the Colourpop Precision Brow Pencil. To deepen my brows just a little bit towards the end, I'm going to use my Anastasia Dipbrow in the shade Dark Brown. And I'm gonna apply this Maybelline Great Lash Mascara. And going back in with the face for blush, I'm gonna use my Colourpop Super Shock Cheek in the shade Drop Up a Hat. So to highlight my skin, first I'm going to use this Colourpop highlighter in the shade Parasol. I'm going to use a damp Real Technique sponge and like dab into it. And I'm just going to lightly dab my cheekbones with this. You can stop right here, but I want that extra glow, so I'm going to use my MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in the shade Oh Darling. I'm going to use this Morphe flat highlighting brush and applying just the smallest amount, just dabbing in this area right here. That's it. But just lightly dabbing in my high points. So while my lashes dry, I'm going to do the lips. So first, I'm going to line my lips with the Shayla and Colourpop Lippy Pencil in the shade BFF3. So next, I'm going to apply this MAC lipstick in the shade Sultry Mauve, which is a really cute mauvey pink. To lighten up the middle a little bit, I'm going to use Tanorama by MAC. For gloss, I'm going to use my MAC Huggable Glass lip gloss in the shade Cool and Cute. She's cool and she's cute. To set the entire look, I'm going to use my Morphe Luminous setting spray, which I feel like is a dupe for the Fenty Beauty hydrating spray. This one like comes out so misty. I love it. Okay, well, this is the completed makeup look. I really love how it turned out. I just love how this e.l.f. primer putty just blurred all my pores. I really love how, like, I'm gonna give y'all a closer look. I feel like this makeup look will be really cute and easy to recreate. Let me know in the comments down below what products are you going to try out after this video. I recommend the Revolution Pro Concealer. This concealer is super full coverage without being too drying underneath the eye, so this is perfect. And also, just one of my favorite primers all around is this Too Faced Hangover RX primer, which is like, this is just so good. I feel like this is perfect for all skin types, so go get you this. Well, you guys, this concludes this makeup tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'll see you all on my next video.